No Boring Days! The fam and I took a trip up north to this resort called El Mar in Sogod, Cebu. I wasn't gonna make a video about it, but they had bikes in the resort and it was free bikes. They had bikes in the resort and the resort was huge. And since a lot of people have been cooped up at home and are probably looking for different places to go out, I thought I would show you a little bit of what the resort was about so you can check it out. But of course, this is a bicycle channel, so let's do a quick bike check on the bicycle available in El Mar, Sogod, Cebu. The free bicycle. It was a Top Gear Competition 26er. Front shocks were non-existent, they did not work. It had disc brakes for optimum braking power, while it looks like there were gears. The cables were not connected to any of them, so they were set up as a single speed, which was fine for cycling through most of the resort except for the short, steep inclines that you would occasionally need to grind up. The 26er tires were more than ample enough to go through the gravel sections, although it was a struggle to bike in the sand. Really like most tires. Cycling in the sand is hard, especially if you try to turn. Okay, so the bike wasn't much, but it was more than enough to have some bicycle fun in the sun. And honestly, I was glad it was there. It was free to use, so good enough for me. Also, on a side note, the resort also had e-scooters, which were a ton of fun, but you couldn't climb the steep inclines. They just couldn't get up there. And you couldn't reliably go off-road with them, so I ended up using the bike quite a bit. Okay, honestly, most of you probably want to know about the resort if you reach this far into the video. So first of all, the rooms were very spacious. We stayed in their 2-bedroom space. The smaller rooms, from what I hear, were also spacious and were much closer to the beach, which was actually better in terms of going from the room to the beach. You didn't need to walk as far. They also have private houses that you can rent out, but we didn't really take a look at those. As mentioned, the resort is huge, which meant guests could very easily move through the whole place while staying physically distant from each other. The beaches were beautiful. I believe there are 7 coves in the property. Only one cove was really used by the guests. It was that big, you didn't really need to go swimming through the other coves. You could visit the other coves, but the most inviting one was the one nearest to the rooms. You can tell though that it's a new resort because small things still needed to be fixed, like we had a leak in the bathroom. Food was late in our last day there, which led us to check out late. The restaurant was unusually small considering the size of the area. But I'm nitpicking. Overall, for the price, it was a good stay. Did I say the resort is huge? So I got to explore so much and even got to give myself a decent hour of cycling exercise. I managed to do 9 kilometers of riding around the resort and I didn't even explore everything. It's that big. I think, I could be wrong, but the property of the resort is about 80 to 100 hectares. Also, they had ostriches for some reason. I don't know why. The resort is owned by the Luliers, who happen to have a zoo relatively close by called Cebu Safari and Adventure Park. But most importantly, in the whole trip, the fam had so much fun. The kids were able to play in the sand and go swimming, and I know the wife loves going to the beach as well. One of my kids even managed to catch a fish with my brother-in-law. If you like fishing, you should check out his YouTube channel. I'll put a link to it. His name is Timothy Kusi, same as his YouTube name. So would I go back? Sure! This time I would hope to bring my gravel bike. Ideally, I would bike to the resort and give myself ample time to explore the surrounding areas. But yeah, we enjoyed El Mar. We had a good time. It was fun to get out of the city, especially after months and months of just staying at home. Okay, I promise the next vlog is gonna be a cycling vlog. No boring days. Subscribe. 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 Yeah?